We're going to talk about this lovely, beautiful ancient tree here. Some of our trees in the valley were dating 500, 600 years old. And in the time of our people, when we were the only ones here, some of the people were getting acorns from oaks that were thousands of years old. There's about 500 species of oak trees around the world. Here we have a few. We have about 1,500 plants that are in the Chumash region, oak trees being just one of them. So you can see this magnificent oak, and sometimes we have trouble with our oaks because we build too close to them or we put plants underneath them that shouldn't be there because these trees are very sensitive to too much water. The oak itself is a keystone species, meaning that it is one of the major plants here in our area that sustains all life, everything. Everybody loves to live in this oak grove, in this oak community, we call it, including us. So think about all the little animals you can think of that live in a tree such as this. Learning about the different types of properties that oaks have, you can have games, you can have ornamentation, all these different things from the oaks. I'm going to show you a couple things here. You may be familiar with a little game that has a cup and a ball. And the little ball's tied to a string, and you try to get the little ball in the cup. So this is a game very similar to that. Now all acorns have a little cap on the top, and the cap connects it to the tree. Well, we'll take those little caps and hollow them out. So I got it here on a little string. So the idea is to get the ring on the pin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to say the sun's in my eyes. But the idea is to get that ring right where you can see that hole and try and skewer it on there. The one fun thing about this game is that, ooh, I almost got it, is that you can learn to do this, and then after you get bored, that's it, got it. So you might want to practice and practice until eventually you have 16 rings on this long string, and the game is to see how many rings you can get all at once. What this does is that when the animals are out, and it's like, we ate deer, we ate rabbit, we ate quail, we ate all these big game animals. And so we had bow and arrows, we had an atlatl, which is a throwing arrow, we had boomerangs, and we had rocks. We didn't have any metal or guns in those days, so you had to learn to aim. Because I'm thinking that the deer is like not going to stand there and go, okay, I'm ready to be food. What's it doing? Well, it's running away. So you have to be able to have good aim. So when you're young and you're really not quite ready to hunt yet, you're still young, but you're going out with your brothers, your uncles, your dads, and you got to practice your hunting skills. So that's one of the things that you can do with the acorn cap. I've got this little basket here of acorns, and they're different sizes. We didn't have scissors. Remember, no metal. So we would get a branch of oak from the ground, and we always had a fire because the best wood for building your fires was oak. Okay, so we'd have a little branch, we'd set it on fire, blow it out, and we'd twist our hair and singe it and burn it. So right across the forehead, the women loved to have their long, thick bangs, but then it smelled awful because of the burnt hair. Well, the women knew that they could go to their beauty parlor and pick up a little acorn, crack it open, smoosh up the acorn meat inside, and rub it on the hair, vigorously on the hair, and it took away that burnt smell. So it was actually a cosmetic. I don't have any acorn necklaces on right now, but we drilled them at the bottom. And you would have beautiful little acorn necklace drilled and strung. When we hunted, when we did everything, all the food we gathered, all the animals, we always used as much as we could from these animals and plants. Well, this jar that has this dark water is from the bark of the oak tree. And as you can see, I don't know if you've tasted an acorn, but if you have, it has that bitter flavor in there. You can't eat it. It's really, you got to spit it out. But water, by rinsing that acorn meal in the streams in a basket, gets rid of all that. But it's actually very good. It's very good for a couple things. In ancient Egypt, the people would extract the oil out of the acorns. They'd press it and get oil, okay? And then they would rub it on the body. Because if the bodies was stiff and had inflammation, the oil from the acorn took it away. It was used as a medicine. This bark right here is used for tanning hides. The women wore these beautiful skirts out of deer hide, but if you didn't tan the hides, it became all stiff, and you can't wear a skirt like that. So you would process it in liquid from the oak bark, and it made it nice and soft and pliable, so you can fashion it into a skirt. So it was very important to have some of this. Another medicinal use of that oak bark is that children were encouraged to chew on it because it strengthened the gums and the teeth. Children helped gather the acorns. As this ground was cleared from all the debris from the year before, you got up in the branches and you jumped on the tree, and that helped all the acorns fall down to the ground. And then you would pick them up. You know that trees, especially the oak, is our breathing buddy, right? As we exhale, we are expelling carbon dioxide. And guess what the oak trees and all trees and plants breathe in? Carbon dioxide. And what do they breathe out when they exhale? Oxygen. Guess what we need when we need to breathe? Oxygen. Isn't that great? So these guys are our breathing buddies. We must remember that. It also absorbs that carbon, our carbon emissions in our air right now, the pollution that's out there right now that's causing a lot of the changes in our weather. So the more acorns we can plant, the more trees that will grow, and the more that they will filter our air. So they're very important. Even if you don't eat acorn meal, it's actually very good once you leach out all that bitterness. It is a whole food, meaning it has all the nutritional value that your body needs, just eating acorn meal. You can go online and you can buy leached acorns. I do it at home. I make my own acorn flour, and I make bread, I make cookies. Japanese people make a noodle with the acorns. The Korean people make godurimuk, which is like a jello that they make with vegetables and sauce. When you have an oak tree in your yard, you're creating a value there. So we're going to move on to another plant right now, okay?